Hi, come on in. Thank you for dropping by. I appreciate it. I have tonight something that's really different. I'm going to be talking about prophecy. Not so much Bible prophecy, but prophecy of the future. And yes, there are people who God tells what He's doing, why, and when. And we have the advantage of being able to listen to these people and know what God has on His mind. I got interested in prophecy, in Bible prophecy, over 40 years ago. And I discovered that there are many, many prophecies in the Bible that God has written sometimes as many as 3,500 years ago. And they came true. And this caught my attention, and I studied them. I compared them to the encyclopedia to check the history, and I was just overwhelmed with the accuracy. That's what caused me to come to know that God is real. And then I had to deal with this fellow named Jesus. That wasn't too hard, because I figured based on prophecy, if God said, if He presented all these prophecies about Jesus, which He did, and they came true, I just simply threw up my hands and said, I believe, and surrendered. Well, tonight we're not going to be looking too much at Bible prophecy. Well, not at all, really. We're going to be talking about prophecy of the last days, end time prophecies. There is a Greek word called eschatology. It means the study of last things. It's a big subject. And a lot of people follow it, study it. They listen to the prophecies. They compare them to past and present prophecies, and they determine whether or not the prophecies are real. One of those people is a person named Stan Johnson. Remember that name, Stan Johnson. He's been working with prophecy for over 40 years. He knows the subject inside and out. He has memorized the book of Revelation, and God has given him a lot of insight into that book. So I'm going to start with some of the prophecies that Stan has uncovered in various videos that he has made. I am not going to sit here and try to explain the prophecies and who said what and what does it mean. Why should I? There are a number of people who are qualified prophets that I have sorted through and found, and I hope to present them to you. And you can use that as a stepping stone to do your own research. Personally, I think YouTube is the greatest asset to Bible investigation that you can ever find. It is full of everything from esoteric comments that you might be interested in, or big subjects like eschatology. And you look and you find everything that they've got, and it's just, it'll blow your mind away. So, I'm going to start with a program that Stan Johnson has. It's called Prophecy with Stan. And he has made a number of videos. Well, he's made hundreds of videos. I don't know how many years. He's been on TV, radio, and now mostly YouTube, I think. Anyway, the first video that I looked at that I wanted to present was something called Important. The Alien Strong Delusion is Here. Now, this is a video where Stan exposes information about aliens and how they are being disclosed in congressional hearings, believe it or not. And there are a number of companies like Lockheed and Raytheon and many others, Northrop Grumman. I used to work for Northrop Grumman. It is apparent that they have in their possession alien spacecraft that they are reverse engineering. And yes, America has spacecraft that look like flying saucers, and we've been flying them since 1954. Believe it or not. I don't care if you believe it or not. Doesn't affect me at all. If you don't want to follow this line of presentation, I invite you to turn off and go someplace else. But for those that are interested, stay tuned. I think you'll find it interesting. The next one Stan has presented is called Angel Visits, Dreams and Visions to Dumitru Duneman. Dumitru Duneman was a Romanian pastor, and he used to smuggle books, Bibles, into Romania, and periodically he'd get caught, and they'd put him in jail, and then they would beat him, and then they beat him more, and then toward the end they had caught him so many times and got tired of him being arrested, they decided to torture him real bad. And they used a 12-volt battery with cables connected to some very private parts and gave him a lot of pain. And an angel came to him and told him that he was going to go to America and tell America about the visions that he was going to have about the destruction of America. And that's what he did. And that's what Stan is talking about in this video. He also has prophecies from Michael Boldea, Leslie Johnson, that's his wife, Henry Gruver, Shane Warren, Terry Bennett, Maurice Sklar, Augusto Perez, Doug Metzger, Bree Caton, and more. There are a lot of people who are hearing from God and who are prophesying accurately. And people like Stan collect these prophecies and publish them. Another documentary that he has done is called 2024, New Madrid Earthquake. New Madrid Fault is a fault, I think it's in Missouri, running parallel with the Mississippi River. And at some point, it is believed that the President of the United States is going to put pressure on Israel to give up a portion of their land to Palestine. And when that happens, God will punish America by dividing America. You have divided Israel, I will divide America. And America will be divided at the Mississippi River, only it won't be as wide as it is now. It will be many miles wider. I don't know how many, maybe 20, 30 miles. And it'll run from the Gulf of Mexico all the way up to the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes will change. They will no longer look like the Great Lakes. As a matter of fact, the United States will not look like the United States anymore. Apparently, there's also going to be earthquakes in California. I don't know if it's at the same time or not, but it's part of the prophecies dealing with the last days. California will sink into the sea, and Nevada is going to be flooded all the way up to the Rocky Mountains. America will change drastically. Okay. Stan had another video called New Dream, Invasion of America. And it's an invasion of Iran, North Korea, and China invading the United States. That's been made by a number of prophets who have seen it in visions and in dreams, and Stan is just reporting what they saw. Another video that he has done is Injection Corrects DNA, Live Forever. This one is talking about reversed aging, the release of the giants, apparently in the end times, and it tells us in Revelation there will be giants, real giants. During the Revelation, the wars of Revelation, and they're going to be horrible. And these giants are not 7-foot men; they're more like 15-foot men. They will have super soldiers. And Stan discusses the mark of the beast is almost ready. Then he has another video called New Dream, Rebirth of America. Oddly enough, I was listening to a video today of a prophet that I've never heard of, and he was saying pretty much everything that Stan presents. He said that the United States is going to be destroyed, but it's going to be, you might say, reborn, and the Lord is going to cause some really good things happen to America. I think it's about time we hear some good news, but anyway. Another video Stan has is Proclamation, 7-year tribulation about to start. Now, the Bible talks about a tribulation, and it is divided into 2 parts. The first part is 3.5 years long, and it's pretty bad, but nothing compared to the second half. The second half is going to be horrible, absolutely horrible. Okay, let's see. Here's another video he produced. Wake Up, America, by Dumitru Duduman. And Dumitru Duduman is the speaker. and his grandson is translating for him, and he is telling what he sees happening to America. And it's bad. It's really bad. Henry Gruver is another prophet, and he used to be known as the walking prophet. God called him to a rather unique ministry. I don't know if there are other people like this, but God told him, I want you to walk in different countries, in different cities, and as you walk, I want you to pray for that city. And God would tell him where to go. And for many, many years, Henry Gruver traveled to all these countries and would walk in their city streets, and he would pray. When he got to Wales, he was in a castle tower overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. And suddenly he had a vision of Russian submarines sitting in the depths along the Atlantic shelf. And then they would rise up out of the water and launch their missiles, their nuclear missiles, at the United States. And then they would go down and hide. And the Chinese were doing the same thing on the West Coast. It's pretty terrible. These are not imaginations. This is the future as it's going to happen before it happens. And this is God telling us what is going to happen, how it's going to happen, and he has told the prophets why it's happening. God's not happy with the United States. We have not been pleasing in his sight. Another prophet is Chris Reed. I'm really impressed with Chris Reed. He is a multi-dimensional prophet. He'll be in a church service and he'll stop and he'll look at someone out in the congregation and he'll say, is your name Dan somebody? And they'll say, yeah, that's me. Your address is 1249 Dittman Drive? Yes, that's right. You had a dream last night. And he will describe the dream. And he will tell him what it means. I've never seen anything like that, and I have seen that time and time again in his church services. But he also is a prophet who God shares the future with. And he tells him, this is what's going to happen, this is where it's going to happen, and this is why it's going to happen. He does not tell him when it's going to happen. That's the problem with prophecy. We never know when. But most of these prophecies that I'm sharing with you tonight are going to be happening in 2024 and 2025. Anyway, so Chris Reed. Now, Chris Reed had some prophecies concerning the destruction of America, having to do with civil war in the United States, which is going to happen as a result of the presidential election. It seems that no matter which party wins or loses, there's going to be a civil war. and it will go on until July of 2025. It will be horrible. Chris Reed found out that a prophet down in Nashville, Tennessee, named Terry Bennett, has got the same kind of prophecies. He's seeing the same thing happen from a different perspective. So they got together and they talked about what each of them saw, and both of them are sharing it on a video produced by Chris Reed. It's called Chris Reed and Terry Bennett. Now remember, all these videos are going to be shared at the end of this video on what I call cards, and you can go to them and you can watch them, and you just type the name of the person making the video, and then you type in the name of the video, hit boom, and you've got it. It's the YouTube search. Hit the button and it'll pop up, and you'll not only see that one, but you will see many other videos that they have made, and you'll probably want to watch those too. So Chris Reed and Terry Bennett are going to be talking about the Civil War. Chris Reed made another video called $50 Bill Dream from Lord about the times ahead, and he's talking about the crash of the dollar. And unfortunately, it looks like it's going to happen in 2024. The way he says it, it looks like it's going to lose 50% of its value overnight. Other prophecies say it's going to lose 30% overnight. We just have to wait and see. He has a video called 2024 and Beyond Prophecies by Chris Reed. I recommend that you listen to that. He talks about President Biden will die in office and Kamala Harris will be made president. She's not going to be able to take the stress very long, and someone is probably going to replace her. Okay, let's see. Where was I? I lost my place. Putin will die this year, unfortunately. And he talks about a major earthquake in California and a major move of God in Russia. There will be an evangelical event happening in Russia that is going to make the nation and the world to rejoice. And he has another one saying, I saw the coming split of America. That has to do with the New Madrid fault. He has another video called As Goes Israel, So Goes America. Warning Dream. And it's more about the division of America. I have another prophet that I like. I've been listening to her for years, and yes, I said her. Her name is Dr. Patricia Green. She is a very intense Christian prophet. There's no messing around with her. She just presents the word as it was given to her, and you accept it or you reject it. She doesn't care. But I know that God uses her, and she's been right before. And listen to what she says. In a video called March 11, 2024, Message from the Lord. All court cases against Trump will be dropped. I knew that. I had a feeling about that months ago. And I would see all this stuff on YouTube about what's happening and who's doing what and who said this and how much they're going to fine him. And I would just chuckle and move on because I knew in my heart he was going to come out of this unscathed. And Patricia Green says Trump will be president. I believe that. I believe that for a long, long time. God allowed the Democrats to steal the election from President Trump for a reason. And I believe the reason was to show you just how bad things will get when the Democrats are in charge. We have seen a huge increase in Marxism in our government. Australia, for instance, has become a communist country. And the Marxists are the teachers, the professors in a lot of our Ivy League universities. And they are spreading Marxism. I met one. I went to I don't know what you'd call it, a bunch of silly, and I say this, a bunch of silly Christian women thought, oh, we've got a man who is a Holocaust victim, and he has agreed to come and talk to us about it. Well, it was a lie. He was not a Holocaust victim. He was a child during the Holocaust, and he was Jewish, but he posed as a Catholic, so he and his mother escaped all problems. But after the war was over, he went to Hungary and became a professor of some subject. He was a communist. And they sent him to the United States, where he was hired by one of our Ivy League universities, and he taught communism. And he was there for over 30 years. So that's why our children are going into college and they're coming out atheists and they're coming out Marxists. All right, so I said that about that. All right, so there is another prophet many of you are aware of. His name is Jonathan CAHN. He is a prolific writer. He has written some really, really awesome books. Anything with his name on it, I recommend that you buy it and read it. You will not be disappointed. But he has also made some videos. And one of them is the White House apostasy. In this, he talks about what the White House is pushing: same-sex marriage and abortion. And another video that he has produced is called A Mystery for Joe Biden. And this is really a verbal letter to Joe Biden exposing what the president has done. And he exposes the Persian mystery, Israel, Iran, and the end times. I think that you will find it very, very interesting. The last prophet that I'd like to introduce you to, he's a good old boy from down in Knoxville, Tennessee. He is a very good prophet. He has a church down there. He shares his prophecies to his church, and he records what he's sharing, and then he posts those on YouTube. He has a video that he calls Get Out of the Cities Now. 13 cities will be destroyed, and he names them. God gave him all 13 cities, and one of them is Washington, D.C. This is urgent. The Antichrist Revealed. That's another video that he has made. This is urgent. The Antichrist Revealed. I think you'll find it interesting. He may be correct, and he may not be. Personally, I don't mind going on record. I think he's missed it here, because the person he is naming is not as charismatic, not as wonderful, and the world doesn't love him as the Bible indicates the world will love the Antichrist. Maybe he's wrong. More than likely I'm wrong. That's okay, I've been wrong before. I'm not a prophet. All right. Terry Bennett has another video that he calls An Urgent Word, Lord Have Mercy. The judgment of America is horrific, and he has seen it as no other prophet has seen it. He has seen it not from the air looking down on America. He saw it as someone driving a car across the Route 40 in Tennessee, and it's got all kinds of potholes in it. And if you look down in the potholes, you see reasons why God is destroying America. One of them is the budget is overspent budget. Another one is abortion. Another hole in the ground is some other problem. And that's the way he reports it. It's interesting. So he tells you that there are going to be 15 states that secede from the United States of America. And he says that God has raised Donald Trump up for this time. He's not the only prophet that says that. He says that the nation's capital will be moved. Another video that he has is Road Ahead for America Prophecy. It's the vision of the destruction of America. So, there you are. That's all the prophets. Those are the videos that I would recommend you watch, or any others that you want to watch. Why is God telling the prophets about all of this trouble that is certainly coming our way? Well, there's a lot of reasons. Reason number one, he wants the unbelievers to turn to him, even if it's in fear. Turn to him and accept Jesus as their Savior and be saved. God wants everybody to be saved. Another reason, he wants you to have time to digest what you're hearing and do something about it. Stan Johnson has a bread program that you can make bread. You buy the ingredients from him. He's done the research, and he'll tell you about it, where you can buy real wheat that can actually sustain life. The bread that we eat today, if we were left to eat just that kind of bread, I won't name a brand name, you'll die. But the homemade bread will sustain life, and he's made kits available for you, and they give you directions and all the consumables, and you put it together and you make your own bread. He refers you to a bullion company that sells bullion and silver. He uses them. Quite frankly, I use them too. Not that particular one, I use a different one. I've known about these prophecies since 2015. And I have bought some silver. I have not bought any gold, but I have bought some silver. And fortunately, I have a place a couple hundred miles away from here that I can store it, and I can get to it anytime I want if I can get to it. And I don't have to worry about theft. So there are a lot of things that you can do. You can look at your finances and convert your money into silver or gold. Because if you have if you have it, you have it. But if it's paper, it's worthless. When the paper dollar goes down the drain, your paper money is going to be worthless. Pay attention to that. Think about it. You can use YouTube to do your research. You can do a search for silver, a search for gold, a search for bullion companies. Do that. You can buy food that comes in containers, in 5-gallon containers, that will last 25 years. It seems like it's a little pricey, but actually it's not. It just seems that way because you're buying a lot all at one time. If I were you, I would buy as much food as you can afford and put it where you can. And if you can't buy the fancy food that's freeze-dried, you can buy bags of rice, take it home, and pour it into 5-gallon buckets and screw the lid on it. That way bugs and mice can't get to it. There are many things that you can do, and that is why God is telling us now what to do. And you can do your own research and decide now whether or not there really is a guy named Jesus. I did the research 40 years ago. I came to my own conclusions. It's changed my life. So I urge you to look into Bible prophecy, do your own research, and I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that you will share this video with other people so that they can benefit from what you've learned this evening. Also, hit the like button if you would. And if you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate it if you would do that. You know, if people will subscribe and hit the like button, these little videos that I make in my living room will go all over the world. And they will tell people about things they've never heard before, because the churches aren't preaching this. So share, subscribe, and like, and I appreciate it. Thank you.